New Zealand's Hauraki Gulf is one of the world's most biologically diverse ecosystems. 20% of the world's seabirds can be found here, along with 25% of the Southern Hemisphere's marine mammals. To protect it, the Hauraki Gulf Marine Park was established in 2000. Yet 23 years later, it is teetering on the edge of total collapse. And for the animals that live here, well, many species are already functionally extinct. But there's change in the air, and reimagining how we manage and protect this wonderland will be key to its survival.
This is my world. A world of stunning locations, of great characters, of spectacular diving, and extraordinary fishing. It's a world I want you to taste.
Okay.
I'm Clarke Gayford, and this is Fish of the Day. Oh, wow. You know, Mother Nature's pretty clever, really, isn't it? Takes our most polluted water, dumps it high up in the hills where it boils back up out of the ground, and it's so pure and clear here that people from all around the world want to buy it. It's just a shame it doesn't stay that way.
Now, my fish of the day this week is a species that is hard at work cleaning up our oceans, the kutai or green-lipped mussel. So where am I? Well, I'm at the Blue Springs on the Waihou River and on my way down its length to Coromandel Town in the Hauraki Gulf. Yep, the humble mussel is one of the contributors needed to step up if we are to revive our Gulf.
But it's not the only answer. And to really give it a chance, we've got a lot of work to do. And all around the Gulf, there's some great examples of that. People doing the mahi. In fact, there's a good example just up ahead here.
In the bluefin episode, I was fringe planting with Sustainable Coastlines on another river that feeds into the Gulf. We planted over 1,200 trees in just one day.
And this is what those trees are going to look like in about a decade's time. In fact, Sustainable Coastlines planted this grove as well, 550 trees back in 2010.
But today, not only are they protecting this valuable water source by trapping runoff, they have also removed close to 8 tonnes of CO2 from the atmosphere.
Yeah, 8 tonnes. By the time these trees are 50 years old, they will have locked away nearly 240 tonnes of carbon and also protected this incredible spring. And that's just 550 trees.
Now, the Blue Springs produce around 42 cubic metres of water a minute, and the water here has filtered down through the rock from the hills above, a journey that can take it up to 100 years. 70% of New Zealand's bottled water comes from this very spring. Clean water is vital for us and for the ocean. We simply have to stop polluting it.
And of course we have to reduce overfishing too, as well as pollution from our urban areas. And while the water might start off here as pure, by the time it reaches the Gulf, oh, it's an awful muddy mess.
This is the Thames Marina, if you can call it that. You certainly won't find a vibrant, thriving ecosystem under these boats.
Oh. So this, believe it or not, is exactly the same river, 180 kilometres later. Oh, and it all flows out there into the Hauraki Gulf.
So what has all of this got to do with fishing? Well, actually everything. If we want to have fish to catch in the future, then we need to look after the environment on which they rely. And the time for talking is done. The Gulf, in fact many of our coastal ecosystems and rivers right around the world, need action now if they are to survive.
And the group I'm about to meet are at the cutting edge of changing the future of this river. And if that goes well, could be responsible for changing the futures of nearly every river in this country.
You'll find them here in Pairo, a place that has a reputation for water.
AgriSea, we're all about seaweed. And the work they're doing could not only change the way that we farm, but also seriously reduce the levels of nitrate and phosphorus that are going into our already strained New Zealand rivers.
Hey, how you
Tane,
going?
is it?
Yeah, good. How you doing?
Nice
Lovely
to
to
meet
meet
you.
you.
Yeah, Claire?
Yep.
But what I really like about meeting you guys today is that a friend of mine collects seaweed. I've been out with him, I've collected the seaweed, but I was never sure where it went or what happened to it.
Yep.
And that's what you guys do.
That's exactly what we do. So collectors all around the North Island, after storms, will collect a clonia radiata, this beautiful brown kelp that washes up onto the beach, dry it, and then send it up into Putaruru.
Can you run me through some of the things you guys produce from the seaweed?
Yeah, so primarily we make a thing called bio-stimulants. And so this is kind of like this next generation products to replace our synthetic fertilisers on farms, and then animal products as well.
You know, we're here talking about farming. This is a fishing show, but some of the work you do actually helps our fish in oceans as well, right?
Absolutely. I think, we need to make sure that we're really connecting what happens on land affects what happens in our oceans.
Yeah. Well, look, I thought I'd come in here to talk to you about a particular river that we've been having a look at today, because the downstream of it isn't so good, the Waihou. But I understand that you're involved in something that's happening there.
Absolutely. So we've been, of course, we're all familiar with what's in our own backyard here. It is our pātaka kai. It's a place where we love to swim and fish and have fun. And, up until 3 years ago, we didn't have a solution.
So that started 3 years ago. And where's it at now?
We'll show you.
What am I looking at here?
You're looking at Ulva, which is a New Zealand sea lettuce, seaweed, which is being used to clean up some of the excess nitrogen and phosphorus coming down our waterway.
And Claire, tell me, what are you feeding it?
We're just feeding it Waihou River water.
But it arrives here full of things that aren't good for the environment.
Yeah, that's right.
And this is actually doing an incredible job of removing it.
Nitrogen, phosphorus, heavy metals.
What we've seen so far in these races is that we are removing 90% of the nitrogen in this water.
My hope and my dream would be the biostimulants and what we create out of it goes to our farmers and land users along our waterways.
Yep.
So that we are reducing, what continually flows back into our lovely, beautiful rivers and streams. We actually respawn them every week, and we harvest every week, believe it or not.
So, wait a minute. So when you say every week, you're just putting how much in here?
Yeah, just little spores back in.
About 300
grams.
And you're getting this in a week?
Yeah, absolutely. But anywhere between 6 and 10 kilos per week per pond.
And so this is full of good stuff that you can use?
Yeah, as you've seen back in Putaruru, they're the biostimulants, so we know it can be turned into this. We're looking into applications around human health and protein.
That's that whole kind of biocircular economy that we're trying to look at, right? That we can no longer have this take, make and waste. And this is the waste that's running down our riverways.
Yep.
And so we're capturing that and turning that into value, both to the environment, but also economic value in terms of products we can make.
It's projects like those AgriSea are working on that could well have a profound impact on our rivers and coastal ecosystems. The key is fast-tracking their implementation.
And cleaner water would mean more fish for us, as well as all the other animals that rely on the Gulf for food.